r/ask Reddit. What is something that everyone praises but is actually horrible? People who work instead of take care of themselves, mentally or physically. It's actually a huge problem in Japan. It's also a big problem in the medical field. My wife is a trauma surgeon and the rate of physician suicide is scary. I believe it's highest for surgeons and anesthesiologists, or at least it used to be. There are a lot of theories as to why this is such an issue, but my wife believes one major reason is that people are afraid to seek help for PTSD or stress resulting from the job. It's a job that highly values perfection and there is still a stigma about reaching out for help. Many people fear that they'll end up losing their jobs or will be looked at as incapable. So they just push down whatever they are feeling and continue to work because being there is the most important thing no matter how you are feeling. My wife has seen it happen a lot with residents as well. It's not healthy. A job is not more important than your mental and physical health. My wife has a great handle on everything now, but back when she struggled more I would tell her that we, myself and our kids, need her to be happy and healthy. We don't need her to be a surgeon. She needed to take care of herself first. This. Also, healthcare professionals don't take sick days. Honestly, it's frowned upon for the most part. The problem is, someone has to pick up your load for the day, and inevitably it's going to ruin their day and you know it. So instead of taking care of yourself and your health, you suck it up and go to work. Working all the time and not getting enough sleep. My stepsister's boyfriend works 7 days a week and will soon be getting 1 day off. They act like it's perfectly normal. He sleeps the entire time he's actually home and spends no time with his family and then just goes to work for insane hours. I just don't think that's a way to live. They are doing fine on money. I get wanting to save, but you're losing quality time with your family and life is about so much more than working 24/7. Edit. Holy cow, this got a lot of attention. Sorry if I haven't responded to you. I'm a little overwhelmed. What's the point of working that much if you don't even have time to enjoy the money you earn? I'm in Thailand. We are in the middle of a 2-day celebration where they release thousands of floating lanterns in the sky. Wonderfully beautiful and brings people together. But over the next couple of days the bare bones of these lanterns, wire, will end up polluting the countryside, local rivers and even end up in the stomachs of livestock. The only ones I've ever used were biodegradable. Hopefully that's the case here. Was just about to ask why none of them were biodegradable. Good on you. Overly public marriage proposals. Prom proposals. Tactical prom proposals. People who boast that they have never taken a sick day off in X years, but it's not because they never get ill, but because they still come in when they are, likely spreading it through the office. One of my co-workers once proudly stated that he comes into work even if he's in a coma. To this day, I don't understand why someone would proudly say something like my job is more important than my health or my life, especially since he's an entry-level grunt, not a manager or executive or something. No one would care if he called in sick, but he thinks that without him, this entire company would collapse. Weirdly, when he's on vacation, nothing collapses, but he still checks in every day and monitors everyone else's work. Yes, even when he's on vacation. Not only that, if you are really ill, you can't do your job well, you score the same on concentration as someone who is drunk. I never understood why employers rather have someone doing a poor job or even endangering people than having someone stay at home for a few days. Being busy and stressed at work. Sometimes it felt as though this is seen as a sign of being successful, yet it is quite horrible. The funny thing is I work hard and do good at my job, but I also make a huge effort not to be stressed out and miserable. I try my best to be relaxed, cheerful, and upbeat, but because of this everyone seems to think I'm lazy, or they are just annoyed. Be miserable like us, damn it. I'm a professional chef and I think it's horrible that working 16-hour days 7 days a week is considered a virtue. I'm 32 now and work in a corporate chef setting, but for 10 years prior I worked mainly in Michelin-starred kitchens. When I was 22 working as a line cook at a 3 Michelin-starred restaurant, I worked 70-90 hours work weeks having a rough alcohol and drug problem. There were times I slept in my car after leaving work at 2 AM to be back in at 6 AM to start big projects. Nap from 9-11 AM then work till 2 AM again. This was considered caring and putting 120% into my job in the restaurant. Everyone's unhealthy obsession with the badass chef persona is ridiculous. As a teen I glorified Anthony Bourdain, but that image is a mask for mental illness. Now I view my glory days behind me and focus on my craft, being a effective manager, and building a future for myself so I can start a family. Not sleeping, staying up late. IDK what middle school me was thinking. My problem is that I feel that work is such imposition on my life that I want to enjoy as much of my free time as possible and not just come home, waste some time, have dinner, sleep. So I try to stay up as late as I can even though I don't have energy to do much and just watch something or read or go out. Anything to try to make it feel like my part of the day. Of course I'm always tired and hate mornings, but I'd hate them anyway and I can't give this up. Row. Sitting at work right now and this was word for word how I feel about the sleep I get. I know it seems unreasonable, ignorant, but I just can't accept that my day breaks down into more time spent working a job I hate instead of doing something I want to do, so I give myself 6 hours when I clearly need more a night and hate work all the same whilst getting more hours to myself. Even if I am a total zombie during those hours, it's comforting seeing someone put this as well. Edit. I'm getting a lot of replies from people who feel the same. If you're one of those in the same boat, read the replies. I hope they help you feel less alone in the grind. Giving people pets as a gift. It sounds like such a nice gesture, especially if that person just lost a pet, but you are just forcing this huge responsibility on someone and it could be something they didn't want at all. Oh, here's a bird. It's going to live 80 years and bond only with you. I could do with that. Celebrities. I want to preface by saying that I don't think it's completely horrible, but I don't agree with the degree to which American society holds its celebrities, whether it be movie, sports, or musical artists. In every outlet, the amount of focus on them is too much, and the amount of influence they have over people's viewpoints, while not necessarily having the credibility, is absurd. Just because they're famous, rich, and beautiful doesn't make them an authority on everything. The fact that a B-list celebrity like Jenny McCarthy had enough influence to help push forward the anti-vax movement dumbfounds me. The fact that the Kardashian family would be considered some of the strongest influences in the media today is ridiculous. I had a professor in college for animal behavior who spoke to our class one day about how unusual human behavior is. Most scientists would assume that those who educate, heal, or innovate would be the most idolized and revered in a society, much like in the past in ancient Greece. In modern culture though, we've grown to idolize those who entertain, like athletes or celebrities. He always wondered if that was a coincidence of our culture's development and if we were to restart the world, if we'd end up in the same place. Interesting thought. Athletes were idolized back then too. Kids doing hours of homework each night. I'm a junior in high school, and I would say it wasn't until last year that I had a teacher with a solid grasp on how to use homework. The class was and is considered the hardest, not most advanced, but most difficult based off prior knowledge. Science class that my school offers. The first day of notes each unit would be the groundwork. We would get just a few very basic homework problems then to go over at the beginning of class the next day to make sure the very basic ideas are understood. Then after a few days of notes we get another homework sheet that was short, but hard so as to find out if you actually understood what you learned. Communication between kids was encouraged and we had a group chat to figure out stuff we as a class could not get at first. Our last homework would be 2 days before the test. It would have very close questions to the test, and we would go over it the entire class the day before the test as well as any questions people had. I think the homework was just how it should be. It was minimal, but clearly very necessary, as if you didn't do it you were very screwed for the very difficult tests. The hardest class I have had, but every kid who takes it agrees the teacher is amazing. Also looks like Edna Mode from Incredibles. Favorite teacher I have ever had. Please tell her all of this and how much you appreciate how she is managing the class. She will appreciate it more than you think. I'm a teacher of 14 years and positive comments from my students is what keeps me going. Just don't tell her about the Edna Mode thing. LOL. Kids who are quiet and seen as more mature. I was always praised as being so well behaved but didn't develop people skills or the ability to speak for myself until much later because of it. Even now, at 23, I'm still playing catch up and learning to find my voice. This was me. Every adult I met praised me for being mature, when in reality I was just quiet due to having no social skills whatsoever. I was kept in a minuscule bubble growing up and never learned how to make friends or act like a normal kid. I'm 26, and recovering is an ongoing process that involves lots of therapy and crying. Edit. Holy crap, this got a lot of responses. I can't respond to everyone, but I'll leave this resource here so people can see it without digging into the comments. r/cptsd. I was always called mature and sweet growing up, as recently as my college years. Yes, healing is taking lots of therapy and crying for me too, and latching onto people appropriately. Sigh. Excessive alcohol consumption. Craft beers are a neat little hobby, and mom needs her wine to chill out. The pressure to drink is always there, in ads, social groups, etc. I usually try not to drink at all unless that's my plans for the whole evening. IDKY, but I can never do the casual 1-3 drinks. I mean, I could if I was going to a formal event or something like that. But when people just have beers regularly or order a few drinks at dinner or a nightcap, I could never get into drinking like that. I feel the same way. I'm almost always either drinking to get pretty hammered or not drinking at all. Beats Audio. Fun fact, Beats headphones are so cheap to produce that they make 2000% profit. Here's the rule with Beats. What you would spend on a pair of Beats, $200 for example, will get you better quality headphones from almost every other brand. No matter what kind of music you listen to, there are better headphones for rap that don't cost nearly as much. Perfect attendance. At work or school. Please stay home if you're sick. At my wife's school district, last year, the student attendance was too low, so they opted not to give the teachers their yearly raise. They were still going to give the administrators a raise, of course. They all said that was ridiculous and did not take their raise, instead opting to have it given to the teachers in the form of a $500 bonus in December. The reason is because the state, Texas, in this case, requires a certain number of hours per student per school year, which is understandable. But teachers should not be held responsible because little Johnny was sick or his mother decided to keep him home. Had a person in school never miss a day ever, came in sick, got the rest of us sick, she got an award for never missing school. How many days were missed by others because she had to come in every day? So damn annoying. Especially since I had class with her for like 8 straight years. Edit clarification. As a child you can't blame them for being forced to go to school. As a teenager, she made the decision to go to school, not her parents. Her parents were okay with her not going to school while sick, but it became her goal in life to graduate with perfect attendance. People have a tendency to praise their own belief tri-party lifestyle without taking a step back and giving consideration to new ideas. No, we don't. How dare you? Having children despite your inability to actually be able to currently take care of them. Edit. Ability, inability. Asleep me does not grammar well. This is the truth. A lot of people are latching onto the money aspect when they respond, but mental health and core wants play a huge role too. We know I'd be a shit mother. I know in my mind and in my heart. I lack empathy when it comes to babies, kids, and teenagers. I have anger issues. Zero patience. Zero desire to help something to grow. And yet people want me to become a mother. You'd be a great mother. Well, I guess the bar isn't very high then. The worst is the flip side of this, when you tell people you are waiting to be financially secure before you have kids and they say, well, not all babies are planned or it takes a village. The IUD in my uterus says otherwise. Black Friday shopping. Sure, the deals can be great, but with everybody running around screaming and shoving their ways in and out of outlet stores, not worth it. I'll go with saving the most money here by staying home. I saw a huge line outside Sephora today and security only letting people in as people left and using those clickers like a nightclub bouncer. The discount advertised was only 15%. Why would you bother? As a customer of Steam, their summer sales have conditioned me that any reduction below 60% isn't even worth to take a look at. LOL. News, celebrity news or any of that crap. Especially when it's retarded stuff like Oh my. Insert picture of any famous woman in her bikini trying to have peace and privacy. Look at the curves. I saw one on Snapchat yesterday that I had to just stop and laugh at because it was so bad and unbelievable. I can't remember exactly, but I think it was just an article of this girl walking through her front door. That was it. Not a new house. Not even the normal shitty celebrity drama. It was literally just a small paragraph or two. I couldn't fathom how someone looked over that and said it was good to go. How was the day that empty? High school a million times over. I still talk to my high school friends. I wish I could go back. Best 4 years of my life. We, mum, had very different high school experiences. Best thing about aging is the increasing distance between me and high school. Agreed. My 10-year reunion is coming up and I have no desire to go. Expecting college students to go into massive debt or pay everything on their own without any help or support from their family, even if it means never coming home to visit their family. LOL USA. Laughs in Scandinavian. Sacrificing for your job. Maybe you're lucky, maybe your job fills you with joy and a sense of accomplishment. But for most people, a job is a price you pay to live comfortably. There's nothing noble or heroic about sacrificing personal relationships, happiness or free time for an employer. And the fact that an employer expects it, like working for them, is a privilege. I worked for a German company for a while and one of the guys there would literally say for the badge when justifying his attitude towards work. He has so much pride in it, but in an arrogant way. Being fat and people telling you to love yourself for who you are, that kind of stuff. I'm obese and hip ducking sucks. There's nothing good about it. It's the main reason for so many of my insecurities. I'm trying to finally get in shape now and I want nothing more than to reach my goal. Thank you everyone for all the kind words of encouragement. I'm not gonna stop. Having communities like r/lowseat helps so much. I won't disappoint. You go, buddy. Random internet stranger believes in you. Friends that encourage cheating or lying in a relationship. Yeah girl, do you. You're not happy, so who cares if you sleep with other people? Maybe he'll be better for you and you won't have to be single when you break up with so and so. Ugh yeah, this is common in circles where friendship is the most loyal thing. Usually because everyone else has rejected them. I once witnessed a guy on the bus loudly calling his friends to make up this extensive plan with all these excuses so his girlfriend would never find out he cheated with Tulla. It was sad and kind of ridiculous because you could hear his friend on the other side praising him, but the cost of it was having to do a duck ton of social manipulation and lying and damaging relationships. I dumped a couple friends who, among other sins, such as proudly cheating on their perfectly good boyfriends, repeatedly encouraged me to upgrade from my husband. Yep, he's a nice guy. He loves you. Blah blah. He's 5 feet 4 inches. Though, that kind of talk will get you straight out the door. Shallow jerks. Smoking marijuana, like the act of doing it, not the marijuana itself. Yep, you can be the stoner dude, but if your whole personality is the use of drugs, then you're not really that interesting. Ugh, this used to be me. In retrospect, it's so ducking cringe, and I really ducking hated not being stoned. Obviously a problem, and whenever anyone pointed it out, oh it's just weed. When a father wins 50/50 physical custody of their children, should be automatically standard if both parents are capable mentally, emotionally, and financially. Physical custody should be determined in what's best for the children, not what's fair for the parents. And I say that as a father very likely to go through divorce in the next few months. If 50/50 physical works, fine, but in most cases it would be a logistical nightmare. I'm a divorce attorney and this is something that people don't tend to understand. It's very disruptive and exhausting for a child to be shuffled between houses every few days. The standard in the US is best interest of the child, and it's not generally in their best interest to have to switch between parents that frequently. That being said, there are all sorts of creative things you can do with schedules that balance some of that time out. Weekly dinners where dad picks the kids up from school and has them until bedtime, then brings them to mom's house to sleep is a big one. An overlooked statistic is that sure, men don't have primary custody half the time, but they don't ask for it half the time. As a practitioner in MA, I feel like while mom having primary custody is sort of the default, judges tend to be open to dads as primary custodians or giving them more time. They usually and are supposed to judge on the facts and what's in the best interest of the child. I'm not saying it's never been a problem, but at least in MA it's more fair than people think. Can't speak for a state like TX or AL though. States that tend to have a more traditionalist view on gender roles and family dynamics. Those videos of people giving to the homeless. They exploit a random person on the street for likes and comments and then have the cheek to guilt trip people who don't give money to a homeless person on the street. If you really want to help, donate to a local charity and don't show off. Instagram. I don't care what you ate at Luby's. Like follow selfie you Instagrammed me love happy follow smile I love emo. One of these is not like the other. Isn't me a little too short to be a proper hashtag? Sex on the beach. You have this whole fantasy about how romantic and thrilling it would be. But it's not great. Getting sand in places you'd rather not have it in is not fun. I'll throw shower sex into this as well. Instead of being intimate and hot, it's usually awkward and stressful as you struggle not to lose your balance. But shower foreplay? Now that's a different beast. Yep, no, it's the best. Then you dry off for a bit, in the sexiest way you can do it. Fling each other to bed, and enjoy fresh outer shower sex. Working extra time as a teacher just to get your work done because you're doing it for the kids. We all know it's not extra. It's just time you refuse to pay us for. I learned really quick that any test or quiz given meant a lost and paid evening of work to grade them. Designer dogs. They're ducking mutts. You don't need to pay $2,500 for it. Go down to your local humane society and rescue something. You'll get the same thing already fixed, with full vaccinations, and likely microchipped. Being pregnant is hard. There are so many aches and pains. It changes your body permanently, and sometimes it can damn near, and sometimes does, kill you. Everyone portrays it as this beautiful, magical time where you are glowing and healthy and fabulous. But the truth is that it's a major drain on your body both physically and mentally. I'm pregnant. I'm excited and constantly in awe that I'm growing a new human. But I've literally felt like death for the past 8 weeks. And frankly, it's the kind of feeling that if I wasn't pregnant, I'd probably stay home from work. But because I am, I just power through. I'm nearly at the end of my first trimester, but still at the stage where if I don't get 10 hours sleep a night, I feel exhausted the next day and all I want to do is exercise and move my body, but as soon as I get home from work, I collapse on the couch and zonk out. Coffee. How many people do you know that say I can't function without my morning coffee? Caffeine is pretty similar to nicotine in what it does to the body, and these people are addicted in the same way. Edit. I woke up to this comment getting a lot of attention, so I think I should clarify something. This was a statement on addiction in general. I wasn't claiming that caffeine and coffee are bad or that nicotine is good. Just a statement on the prevalence of addiction in our society. Honestly, why not do both? Literally any person in the military. I might get heat for this, but alcohol. My freshman year of college I hadn't drank yet, and I decided to watch other people and let them be my guinea pigs before I had it. I witnessed so much horrible shit and had so much horrible shit happen to me because someone else was drunk. I lost friends, was assaulted, had to clean up other people's messes, at one point feared that someone was going to throw me off a balcony, and had my heart broken, of course. And that's why I am sober to this day. Alcohol just really is not worth it. But wine doesn't T-oxide NTs. Yes, so does a bowl of grapes. Edit. Yeah, definitely got some heat for this. That's okay. I think it led to some good discussion and I like hearing other people's opinions. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.